You want to feel like you're part of something.
Yeah.
Customers want to feel like they're part of something. They don't want, and that's why drop shipping just doesn't work well anymore. Just generic products, because it's like meaningless consumerism. It doesn't mean much. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Conquer AMZ podcast. I'm Eric. We have Veronica here and we have Chris here. And today we are discussing everything around product research. So a little bit of backstory. We've been selling on Amazon since 2018 as a team, and we've sold, I think, 15 products, guys, together in that time?
Yeah, definitely.
I think more now, actually.
Probably coming up more and more coming.
Yeah, and in our current brand, Prodigy X, we've launched, I think it is 7 products in the last year alone. We've grown that business from $0 to $2 million in revenue in a year, and we're basically going to be giving away our product research strategy in this podcast, right?
Yeah, 100%. We're going to be explaining what our most recent product research strategy is for finding winning products on Amazon, and specifically on Amazon Australia.
Yes, exactly right. So we have a strategy. Maybe, Vronz, do you want to introduce the audience to the strategy?
So our most recent strategy that we've just launched in our Conquer AMZ Academy is our passion to profit strategy or formula. And basically this formula is, as Eric said, over the last 4 years, over, about 15 product launches, we've, through trial and error, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, we've combined all of those lessons into this formula to give to our students. And as Chris said, specifically in the Amazon Australia marketplace. So this formula, as I said, our students pay for this information, and we show them, we teach them exactly how to do this, but now we're going to disclose what this formula actually entails.
Yeah, and something really important that you touched on there is we've had 15 products, but not all 15 have worked out. Exactly. There's been a few flops, and we've actually lost money and had hard lessons and had hard failures that we can now, out of a position of experience, now kind of pass on in our passion and profit formula. And what's working right now, guys?
I was going to say, we can all agree that in the past, like many years ago when we first started, we didn't have a clear strategy in place. We had ideas of what was working. This was working here, demand, a trend here, but we didn't have the complete package, which now helps us launch these products. So I guess we want to lead back on what you said then. What is working for us now?
Let's maybe start off with passion.
Yeah.
The point number one, the first part of the formula is passion. And
actually, sorry, before we go into that, I just wanted to summarize what we're actually going to go through, and is that our passion to profit formula contains 3 elements or sections, and we're going to go through each of those 3 elements. So as Eric said, the first one being passion. And when we say passion to profit, we're talking about a passion product. Now, the reason that we talk about a passion product and is because actually multiple reasons, but I always like to start off with is that there was a time where I was like, it doesn't matter what product you're selling. If that product is making you money, if a product is bringing in thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds, millions even, you can be passionate about that product. And we've
debunked this a little bit. We've sold products that have made money, but ultimately, if you're not really passionate about the product, you're less enthused to sell it. It's not as fun, basically, right? It's not exciting.
You don't have the drive, do you? You don't have the drive to continue it on. The money makes you drive a little bit, but over time, it can get a bit of like, I don't want to tell people about this. I don't want to sell it.
A great example of that is the fruit baskets, right? So in case you don't know, we actually sold the first ever bamboo fruit baskets ever in the history of the world on Amazon USA. And that product made good money. However, being young men, young people in our early 20s, when someone asks you what you do, what do you sell? And you say, I sell bamboo fruit baskets and then bamboo spoons and bamboo bread boxes. It's not very sexy. It's not very fun. It's not very exciting, because realistically, who's the avatar of that product?
Yeah.
It's an older woman. It's someone that's not you, right? We don't buy maybe Veronica, you'd maybe buy a bamboo fruit basket now because you're becoming a mother soon, perhaps. But 5 years ago, it's a bit boring, and that's the reason why we kind of led to the conclusion that it's just better to sell products that you're passionate about, and that's what we've done recently.
What
right?
are the advantages? Let's jump into the advantages of being passionate about a product. Do you want to?
So obviously, as we already said, it's more fun. An advantage of that is if you're selling a product that you're passionate about, you're actually the avatar. And when I say avatar, you are the customer that would purchase that product. Therefore, you know if that product is good, does it work like it should. You are someone who uses that product, so you could be like, do you know what? If I added this to this product, it would be way better. So that's number one. You understand your avatar.
And
You understand your
this is
customer.
where I was getting at. Our most recent brand, Prodigy X, and our most recent product, we started selling ice baths.
We love the fitness.
And
we're all
this
into
is a
fitness.
product that we all love.
Yeah.
And it's so much funner, like you just said, because you get to create a brand that you're actually excited about, something that you're passionate about, and you're actually selling the product to yourself, right? Like you're selling it to people like you. So it's just exciting, unlike the bamboo fruit basket, right? It's like the opposite. So passion, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It
Pushing
definitely makes-
forward.
and even just like how you feel about your brand as well. Like if
Yeah.
you feel good about what you're selling, you want to sell it to the world. You want to sell it to everyone you see. So when you like really love what you're selling, it makes you want to work harder. It makes you want to push and expand and just grow the business to its full potential. But if you're just there solely for the money and you're like not connected as much, it can start to get old on you over time.
Yeah, so it's like you're having fun, you are the customer, so you understand what that product is and how to use it. And then number 3 would be that because you are the customer, you know what the customer wants, it is significantly easier to market to that customer. So as Eric was saying with the fruit basket situation, is that if Eric was doing the marketing for the fruit basket, really he can do the marketing really beautifully and he'd be like, yeah, that's nice. But in terms of a customer and understanding truly what the customer wants, he essentially is guessing, because he's like, I think that's nice, that's beautiful, but is he the customer? No. So then he might have to go and ask, mums or women, be like, do you think that this fruit basket is working or doing what you need it to do? So that's another element or a benefit of selling a product that you are passionate about. We are passionate about health and fitness. We all basically have a background professionally in health and fitness, and also as a hobby.
You're flattering me here.
Yeah.
We're semi-professional, but I'll take it.
But now basically from having our Prodigy X brand and selling the products that we're passionate about, we've actually become healthier individuals because we're the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Like we test out all our products, and now ice bath, hydrogen bottle, all of those things are in our everyday
We use them all.
routines.
So question, for someone watching this at home, how would you recommend them to actually find a product that they're passionate about?
Well, you got to start thinking, what are the things you enjoy? What do you do on the weekend? What do you look forward to doing outside of work hours? Like obviously maybe you're passionate about work, but normally it's like hobbies that you have and that you love, that you know more about than other people. Think about the things you want to tell your family, what you've been up to on the weekend. Oh, I did this. I went kayaking. I went fishing. I did some sculpturing. I did some clay sculptures. I don't know, whatever you want to, whatever you're into.
Actually, it's a good point, because the quirky and the more niche your hobbies are, like you'd be surprised. There are some products out there like that you've never heard of, but some people, I don't know, love a certain type of painting, and they use a certain type of brush or a certain type of paper. And you wouldn't even know, well, that person knows, but those products like could be hot. There could be a ton of demand for them, which kind of leads nicely into the second.
That's point number 1.
part.
And Eric's just kind of segued into the next part of the strategy, which is you might be passionate about a product, but it has to have demand. There has to be data to say that it's selling. Because remember, we're selling on Amazon.
People got to want that thing.
Yeah.
They got to want it.
People are coming to Amazon to look for products. If they're not looking for them and there's no demand, then you're not going to sell that
I have
product.
to say, this is where I've seen like most people go wrong here. For whatever reason, most people would just like, oh, I think that someone would want this. Oh, I want this, so everyone must want it. But it's like, you need evidence. You need concrete evidence. Like there needs to be real numbers to support your conclusion of, yes, someone wants this.
That's
and not
right.
someone, yes, lots of people want this, right? Demand.
And I do want to, Eric, as you identified, a lot of people go wrong here. So I want to break down what does exactly demand mean. And we are specifically talking about Amazon Australia, because before we give the definition of what demand is, I want to point out that the demand is very specific to where you are selling your product. The demand of selling ice baths on Amazon in Australia is different to Amazon to US, to doing a Shopify store, to opening up a physical store in Rundle Mall in Adelaide. So you, depending on where you're selling, you need to do your research there as well. And when we talk about demand, Chris, Eric, what's a definition for demand on Amazon Australia?
It's straightforward. We're looking at search volume and revenue. They're the main key factors we're looking for. So you've got to have decent amount of search volume and decent amount of revenue. Otherwise, well, we know here Amazon's a search platform. People are coming there looking for the product. If they're not searching for it, that's one X.
Give
But
us
if
an
they're also gonna be
example, Chris, of
purchasing it-
someone searching. What does that mean? For someone
So-
who's a newbie to all of this, they don't know what it is. What does search volume mean? What does
Yeah.
searching on Amazon mean? Run us through it.
So I guess like Australia is changing. Amazon's still early-ish in Australia, and people now come to Amazon when they want to buy a product because they don't want to go to the general shop or they don't want to go to the mall to go buy that product. So they're going to come to Amazon, and like Google, when you go on Google and you type in a keyword, it gives you a list of products that you can basically choose from. So that's what they're searching. That's where you get search volume. So that's the amount of people that are actually searching for that keyword, that product name. Now the revenue comes into who's actually purchasing that product. So that means, are they liking these products on there? Are they finding what they want? And are they actually buying them? So there's search volume to make sure that people are looking for it, but then also revenue that makes people actually purchasing it. And people
So search volume, how many people are searching for a product on Amazon? And that can be 500 people a month, 1,000 people a month, whatever. And then revenue is like
Who's buying
money,
it?
how much money is being generated, right?
Yeah.
And what's a good number, Chris, for search volume typically to validate demand on Amazon
in
Australia?
Australia, like, well, it depends what tier products you're looking at, but you're saying like if you're getting a couple of thousand search volume, that's a decent search volume in Australia.
In
And
Australia.
in Australia,
Amazon
that is.
Australia.
Yeah, so you're thinking that's 2,000 people a month. That's a decent amount of search volume. And then you got to look at whether or not people are purchasing from that.
We
search
kind
volume.
of like teach like a minimum of 500 to
Yeah.
anything above 500 is pretty good, but 500 is still on the low end, right? Like
Yeah.
2,000, if you find a product that's got 2,000 search volume a month on Amazon Australia, beautiful thing is Amazon Australia, that search volume is going up and up every single month, every single year because more and more shoppers are going onto Amazon in Australia, which is a whole nother podcast that we're going to touch on
just to touch on that
day. But
2,000, like you said, that's a good one. If you when we're talking about, we're looking for winning products, aren't we? So you can still sell products around that 500, but you got to realize that's still not much search volume, and you're competing with a few other people. So if you're getting up to those thousands, 2,000s limits, you know there's going to be good search volume. There's high demand, and you know that means that most likely there's going to be high revenue.
And how do we find search volume?
We use different tools, but we use a tool called Zonguru.
Sneaky.
There is some tools out there. There's multiple different tools that rip the data off Amazon and give you search volume, demand, ratings, everything. They tells you and you can really break it down, but we use a tool called Zonguru. And I know, well, you guys know Zonguru very well.
Veronica's a Zonguru specialist.
Once upon a time, myself and Eric, we did shout out for Zonguru work, part of the Zonguru team, and it's basically if you're unaware that you can actually use tools to give you your data, because I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you're like, okay, I get it, I need to know demand, I need to know the data, where the hell do I get this data from? There are tools out there, and there's multiple tools, and we've worked with Zonguru behind the scenes, and now, we're no longer part of their team, but we use Zonguru within our business. So Zonguru is an Amazon tool suite, and as Chris said, it collects, it doesn't, I don't like the word rip because I feel like it's doing something that it shouldn't be. They have an official partnership with Amazon, and it collects the data. And depending on what data points you're looking for, they are estimates though, but that's where we collect our data from. So if you're looking for a tool, we find that Zonguru is the best one especially for the Australian marketplace. There are other tools available, but they're more so for the US marketplace. So I will leave our affiliate link for Zonguru down below if you're looking for a tool.
And just to touch on it as well, like it is so important that you actually use data to make decisions. Like you're not going to your neighbor, you're not listening to your friends that have just seen a product on TikTok. Don't get me wrong, TikTok can give you some good ideas, but you can't just go off what someone's told you. You need to make sure that Amazon Australia, the marketplace you're going to be selling in, has that data proving that your product will sell.
Yeah, and actually we had one of our live sessions with our students yesterday. It's basically like a live Q&A with our students, and someone did say that they've got about 5 products that they're really passionate about, really loving. However, the data isn't matching up for them, and they were a little bit disappointed. And I was saying to them, this is exactly why we have the Launchpad, which is a step-by-step process of doing product research and analyzing data, because it's better to find out in a spreadsheet that your favorite product isn't profitable or isn't appropriate for you to launch on Amazon Australia, compared to investing thousands of dollars, being live on Amazon, not making a sale, and then losing all that money. So this is why you do product research.
And it's an important point there. Like, that is something that happens often where people get emotionally attached to a
Yeah.
product. They're like, oh, but I love the idea of this product. The demand's not quite there, but I really like this product and I think I can make it work. And, it's like, no, you have to listen to the demand, like the search volume, the revenue. Don't lie. It's got to be those numbers to what you guys
It's
are
good
saying.
because they're passionate about it. So they got the first part. It's just you need to
And
validate.
we actually have a personal example. One of the products that, one of the brands we created, it was actually a seasonal product, ended up being a seasonal product. And a seasonal product is a product that's purchased in a season. So this was
Think of products in summer or winter.
Christmas
or
products,
Christmas
something like that, yeah.
time, things
Umbrellas
like that.
aren't going to sell well in summer seasonal. They're going to sell well in winter.
So this product was
That's
a
not the
summer,
product, by the way. They didn't sell umbrellas.
This product was a summer product. It was kind of like a beach product, and we made it very aesthetically pleasing. It was like very Gold Coasty.
Beautiful brand.
We put our name on the brand. We really loved the brand, but the data, just at the end of the day, this was in our early days, it wasn't there. So we had something that we were passionate about. And then in a second, we're going to talk the brand aspect, but then it just didn't have the demand. So from there again, and we still have this product at my mum's house in Adelaide, boxes of this product. And one day we'll still do something with it.
One day, the passion is there.
The passion is still there, but that's a clear example of like why the demand has to be there. We make data-driven decisions in business, not emotional ones.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we have passion, we have demand. What's the third part of the passion and profit strategy?
Well, the third one, and I think
it brings it all together. The thing it brings it all together, it's the branding. You have to brand the product. And what we've noticed in the last year as Amazon grows is maybe a few years ago you could get away with not having a brand there because there was not much competition. Competition is starting to increase, but good competition hasn't really increased yet. People aren't branding properly.
Oh, it's painful to see. Like, I was doing product research today and I'm just like, everywhere I look, and once you kind of have the eye for it, like, when you just see unbranded products that don't have like branding and fully optimized listings and stuff, like, it's so blatant once you get attuned to it. And there's still so many like products out there on Amazon Australia that are doing so well that don't have a brand. It's like a Chinese word, like Yuma Shibata, like, and it's like shipped from China. And it's just like,
I was looking.
it's painful because I'm like, there's so much opportunity.
One of our students yesterday, like, literally was sending me some ideas, and I was looking at it, and I did 5 minutes just looking at what the competition was. The third bestseller that was doing like $7,000 Australian had one photo, one hero shot photo. No A+ content, no videos, nothing, no dot points.
Maybe we should quickly decipher between a listing optimization and branding.
Yes. So I'm going to actually bring it back to specifically branding. So I want Eric, your branding is one of your favorite elements in our business. So I'm going to direct the question at you. So for everyone listening, so we obviously said, okay, find a product that you're passionate about. Tick. Got that. Validate it. There is demand. Tick.
Yep.
Why do we encourage, or why do we teach our students to create a brand?
Brand is, and a lot of people get this wrong, brand is emotion. What brand does is actually create an emotional like connection between your product and the ideal avatar. With our brand, it's just a product. And if it has Chinese on it and has something, it feels lifeless, right? It's like this entity that has no soul. The brand is the soul of the product. It gives meaning to it. Think about the last time you were in a sports shop. Which brands did you say, or think in your head, I want shoes from this brand? Why?
And that meaning
because
gives
you're
value.
emotionally connected to it. There's something about its marketing. It means something to you. I wear Nike. I put on Nike socks today. I chose Nike socks. I could have worn plain socks. I chose Nike socks because Nike makes me feel a certain way. It makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel athletic. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel sharp. That's because their marketing has worked. And growing up my entire life, I've always loved Nike because of the feeling of it. And that's exactly what we've replicated with Prodigy X. And that's exactly what we teach in the Passion and Profit Formula, branding, the last aspect that we teach our students to create that emotional connection.
We're making the customer feel special. We want them to like really like see the brand straight away, instantly want to be part of the brand, want to share the brand, want to talk about it, want to show off their product.
You want to feel like you're part of something.
Yeah.
Customers want to feel like they're part of something. They don't want and that's why drop shipping just doesn't work well anymore. Just generic products, because it's like meaningless consumerism. It doesn't mean much. These days, people will also pay more money for something that means something to them. We all would. That's why do people go and buy Louis Vuitton and all these BS designer goods? Because of status, because of a feeling of some sort, because of emotional connection.
And the impact of like returning customers on Amazon as well. If you start creating a brand on Amazon, they purchase one product, they love it because you give them the best experience. When they go looking again, they see your brand again. They're most likely going to purchase that again because they trust you. You built trust with them, and they're just like, I know this is legit.
And to what you just said, to build upon that, there's two aspects to this, because there's you creating your brand for the emotional connection with the customer. Then there's also the aspect of Amazon literally favoring brands on Amazon through something called brand registry.
Yeah.
Where if you have a registered trademark and you have that in Australia, then you basically plug it into Amazon, you get access to what's called A+ content. And this is content that only branded products can have, where you can basically have a website underneath your listing. You can have a video. You can have like a what is it? It's called a brand page, or it's your storefront. You have a storefront where your products are, and you can just build out this insane thing on Amazon, and it just compounds everything, and everything becomes better. Customers get to see more of your stuff. Everything's more optimized, and it's a no-brainer. You need to have a brand.
Yeah, and there's two sides of having a brand. Well, Eric, you're obviously very passionate about it. So when you talk about creating a brand, it's all the creative elements of it, and it's all the very emotional sides of branding. But there's also, for those of you who don't deem yourselves as creative people, and you may like, I'm not really interested in a brand, I just want to find the numbers and sell a product. In terms of looking at it logically, a brand on Amazon, as was touched on, it does give you access to additional benefits on Amazon's platform. So as I said, brand registry, A+ content, storefront, you can do different types of ads. So it makes your product and therefore brand look more professional on Amazon's platform, increases the perceived value of your product. So if you've got this beautiful brand, we've got our beautiful Prodigy X brand versus someone who just has an ice bath. It can be the exact same ice bath, but just doesn't have a brand on it.
Yeah.
They're going to go to us every single time. And there are stats to show that there is, I think it's 10% or more increase in conversion by just having a brand on Amazon rather than just having a generic
That's
tag
insane.
And I'm sure
That's
there's like,
which is massive.
and I'm sure there's like there's stats on saying that it increases the value of how much you can sell, or how much the product's worth, like the pricing. You can price higher normally with a brand because it looks legit.
Yeah.
And then even down the track, your whole business is worth more because of the brand. Building a brand just adds more value to the business. You can sell the thing later. There's just one thing I want to touch on, and this is important as well. We've all made the mistakes in the past of making specific brands too, right?
Yeah.
And I just touched on Nike, and this is like a something that we teach in our program. The word Nike doesn't actually mean anything. I think it's like the Greek goddess of victory, but it's not English. It's like just a random word basically.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. It could be anything. What about Mercedes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about IKEA?
Yeah. It's
if you didn't know what these were, you could sell any product under these names, right? Even Prodigy X, like maybe it's like Prodigy sounds like, but like it's not specific. Notice that we didn't call our brand Ice Baths Are Us.
Yeah.
Polar Ice Bath Express.
Yeah.
None of this BS. Prodigy X. From day one, when we created an ice bath brand, we called it Prodigy X. Can you sell hydrogen bottles under Prodigy X? Of course you can. You can basically sell anything under Prodigy X. If we wanted to, we could sell camera gear under Prodigy X because of the broad name. The same as Nike, same as Mercedes. So that's an important tip as well.
It's very important that you keep your brand so it's not super hyper or hyper specific.
Yeah, it's got to be broad. You want to have a broad
and
name.
like Eric said, we've all made those mistakes in the past. And that's something we've learned.
We literally once sold these tablets that you put in your mouth to chew to strengthen your jaw. And we literally called the brand
they were called Jaw Define.
Jaw Define.
Like you couldn't get any more hyper specific
so
than that product.
And once we sold a golf product, and the golf brand was called Golf Pro Elite. So here's a tip: don't put the name of your product in your brand name. Make it broad. Make it very broad.
Yeah.
Because as Amazon, you can just diversify.
Yeah, exactly right.
I also want to touch on the front of more so our Jaw Define brand is that not every product needs to be branded. So when we have our 3 elements of our passion to profit formula, you can have a product that has demand, that you're passionate about. Say you're love fishing, okay? Love fishing, and what's fishing line called? I don't know. Fishing line, right? So fishing, you love fishing, and then you find on Amazon that has demand. However, creating a brand around something, like, say, maybe fishing isn't a good example, but I'm just talking about those kind of products that are like a screwdriver.
Like a toilet brush or something. Like, you're not going to create a sexy brand.
But we don't teach people to sell these, by the way, in our program, which is important.
But in the point of this conversation, that not everything... we're branding for that perceived value, for that emotion. If I have a toilet brush, and even if it was the best toilet brush in the whole wide world and it has demand, really at the end of the day, most people go to the shops and they're like, oh, that toilet brush, oh, that one's $10, this one's $3, I'm going to get the one at $3.
Yeah.
It's
the product has to have a certain perceived value, and that's actually something we teach in our program too. We only teach our students to sell products over $50, which eliminates exactly to what Veronica was saying, all of those products, because that's the reason we've eliminated them, because it doesn't matter if if a toilet brush one's fancier than the other one and has a brand, like you're just saying, you don't care. You just buy the cheaper toilet brush because it's hidden away.
Yeah, the one that matches the colours or whatever.
You scrub shit off your toilet with it. Like, no one cares.
It's unnecessary. Next up, Project toilet brushes.
So
we've covered it.
And yeah, but I just want to touch on the last point, because it's the passion to profit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So it's the product you're passionate about. It's got demand. You branded the thing. We always say demand brand because it rhymes. It sounds funny. You demand and then you brand it, and then all of that together equals profit. The passion to profit formula. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's
the wrap for today's on. We wanted to cover we wanted to cover that, didn't we? Really wanted to cover like our current strategy in 2024 that is like pumping out results. We've had students using this. We're using it. Like, it works, and we're just rinse and replicating this every time.
And let's just give some like a clap to one of our students, Troy.
Yeah,
Troy used the passion and profit formula. He nailed his product. We all know what he's selling, and he got to 10K sales in his first 2 weeks.
10Ks in like 2.5 weeks.
In 2.5 weeks, and then he sold out. He's been out of stock for 2 weeks now, because that's how fast his products were selling using this formula.
And he followed everything: passionate, demand, and then had that.
He created an awesome brand.
Yeah,
his brand is listing and everything's fire. So cool.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
Well,
Yeah, see you in the next one, guys. Peace.